All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is podcast number 3. And I believe we're going to get into some spoilers, right? This is the Avengers Infinity War podcast from the chunk. I would assume there's going to be some spoilers here. So if you're here, you're probably going to ruin the entire movie for yourself if you haven't watched it yet.
Get out while you can. You're not a true fan. You deserve to hear every word of this.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Okay. If you haven't seen it
again tonight, to be honest, I think I might go watch it again. I need to see it twice.
I did see it a second time last night. I saw it a second time last night, and it's just as good the second time around, boys.
Hey-o.
Moist dedication.
It was awesome, and we can go down the line here if you want to. By the way, it is Jason. Jason's up in here. Jason, myself is Justin. I'm just doing alphabetical order, and I know it's rude to put yourself in front of other people, so let me just skip over myself.
Good.
Jason, Niki, Reggie, and myself, Justin. Ow. We are all in here, and apparently we're the only ones. We're the only chunkers who have actually seen the movie.
Are you serious?
No, actually, Vince did say
Really?
that. Vince said that he saw it last night, and I was like, "Yo, you want to get on this podcast?" And he said, "Absolutely." And then I was like, "Hey, like an hour ago, I was like, yo, man, trying to get on this pod?" He's like, "Yeah, if I leave the gym in time." Guess who didn't leave the gym in time?
Jesus.
Jeez. What did he try?
Okay, so first off, we can just go down the line here and just be like, initial thoughts. We don't have to get anything too deep, but if you have any questions, feel free to let them rip. I'm going to save Niki for last because I feel like he's probably the most well-versed on the Marvel universe.
All right, so why is Vision so horrible?
Well, right. Okay, I'm just saying. All right, first off, he was in love. Obviously, when a machine's in love,
it's like deja vu. I just heard that differently in my head, like the first time, a whole different way, but whatever.
I completely heard that so wrong.
Wait, what happened?
Like in an alternate reality, I feel like Reggie would have said that completely different.
I think he did. Yes, he was very tame the second time around.
Are we still rolling?
Yes.
I don't know what's going on. I'm just getting feelings off my chest, man. I'm just getting stuff off my chest.
Okay, so about Vision, right? We did get caught off guard, and honestly, that was like, it was almost like a jump scare. But he's in love. He's in, what is it? Were they in Scotland? But they were having a conversation, just hanging out. How was he supposed to know he was about to get shanked in the back?
Yeah, but he doesn't. He doesn't feel pain, and his skin is even like. Yeah, and I thought he was made of like fake skin or whatever. Like, I guess that could heal itself magically and blah 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 blah.
I guess you're right.
Test tube.
Somebody by the name of Vision probably should have seen that coming. If you know what I'm saying.
Oh,
hey, true.
But anyway, they made that out to be like his downfall for the entire movie. He had that wound the entire movie, which is weird to me because Scarlet Witch was healing him on the spot and had to stop because they were being attacked again, but she never revisited it again to heal it some more. Why wouldn't she just keep healing him?
I don't get it. Like, he's like the strongest Avenger, if you think about it. Like, in Age of Ultron, he killed Ultron. He's the strongest Avenger, and he was out like nothing. It was just
well, it is weird. For somebody who's wielding an infinity stone on their forehead, he didn't really do much. You're right.
Yeah, the whole time I had to keep reminding myself. I was like, wait, he has an infinity stone literally on his forehead, but he's over here taking all this pain.
Yeah,
like I don't understand.
All right, you're right.
I didn't get it.
That was a little weird. They handled that poorly, but he was damaged he was damaged goods for the majority of the movie. But yeah, he didn't have a moment where you were like, okay, he's kicking ass. He never really did that. So I could understand why you're upset about that.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
But what did you think of the movie though? Overall, start to finish, how did you feel about it?
I thought it was dope. I thought it was amazing. I thought, top 3 of those movies that I've ever seen. I like Civil War was probably the best one, and that was probably second. It was really good.
Honestly, I loved everything about it. Even when you look at just the whole storyline and everything, like everyone knew that. Okay, we all knew what Thanos was trying to do, but no one would thought he would actually succeed. And because he actually succeeded, and then actually seeing people like prominent characters disappearing at the end.
Wait, what are you talking about?
Literally just left you in your seat like, no, this can't be happening. This can't be happening. Like, there's no way. Where's the catch? And then even worse, then at the end, when you see Fury disappearing, you're thinking that's at least their last hope. And even their last hope is gone. So I walked out of the movie theater just pissed. I literally, even during the credits,
damn.
I was sitting there waiting. I was like, no, like they're gonna come back and it's all gonna be good.
Oh yeah, next year.
I went home heated.
Oh yeah, no, everybody was feeling definitely some feels after the movie. But my question is, we can get to the end here in a little bit, but The beginning of the movie starts off with like some radio chatter, and then all of a sudden you realize Thanos is there, and he just obliterated the two ships. Because at the end of Ragnarok, you see his ship pop up in front of them. My question is,
right.
I got a question about.
Yeah, I forgot about.
Yeah, I got a question about what happened to Korg. I want to know what happened to my dude Korg. I think that rock dude at the end of in
No,
Ragnarok.
he's one of my favorite people on earth. Yeah.
He was awesome. I'm assuming he got away. He got away at some point because he had to have had a death on screen if it was the dude was awesome.
Did he not destroy all of Asgard, which was like what Thor, Loki, and the last like few people that were left? Those are the bodies he was walking over, right? I mean, I'd assume Korg was one of them.
No, you would assume, but for the amount of FaceTime he had and the amount of like people loved him in that movie Ragnarok, they would have sent him off in a better way. I think he got away. I think that distress call that we were hearing, maybe I think there were two ships, were there not? I'm just assuming there's got to be. He had to have escaped at some point.
I doubt it. I think he's just a side character.
I wouldn't think so because what's his name? God, I forgot his name, but the guy Idris Elba played.
Heimdall.
Gloriously.
It's Heimdall.
But I mean, you got to think he was defending all of Asgard. So if Asgard died, he wouldn't let that just happen.
If he did,
no, Korg
he would have been where they are.
No, Korg was with them. No, I thought Korg was
exactly. So I mean, I'd assume he died with the rest of the Asgard. It's
I would assume so as well.
Faces, you had to get the FaceTime.
And I'm pretty sure
it
was two ships that Thanos took down. So I'm pretty sure Korg was gone.
All right, if he's gone, I will riot because that's the only person in the entire movie I was upset about losing. No, I'm kidding. I was more upset that he didn't get a send off. Like I would have at least liked to seen what happened to his body. You know what I mean? Like I want the closure. I don't have closure right now. In my head, he's still alive somewhere.
If they bring him back, they're really gonna have to tell If they bring him back, they're really gonna have to tell a good story because that is a hard detail to try and loop back into everything that's going to be happening.
Okay, well we'll put him on the list of people that we assume are dead. There's a much longer list at the end of this movie. I can run down the people right now, and we can let's try to figure out if we think they're going to come back in some form or fashion. Because
please,
first off,
let's do this.
Okay, all right.
I got theories for days.
Okay, all right. I want to hear them.
I could have a board right now with all those like pieces of yarn attached to all the different connections.
With like pictures like on their faces.
Let's start with the ones that I feel that felt a little more permanent than most. So let's start with Loki. Right out the gate, Loki gets his neck snapped by
Loki's
Thanos.
Loki's dead. He's dead as hell.
Really?
I'm sorry.
You think so?
Yes.
Are
you kidding me?
Thanos
if he's dead, but listen though, he's the one who could like shape shift and like be in like 5 places at once. If anyone's like can avoid death and come back, it's Loki. Like he does that crap all the time.
Okay, but normally I would agree with you.
No. Thing is, his little mirages, they are just that. You snap his neck, it's done.
Okay, wait.
And on top of that, if Loki was gonna die from anybody, I feel like the most powerful being in the universe, I feel like is a good way to go out. If you ask me, just thinking on the storyline,
it's a good way to go. But honestly, on paper, dying by Thanos' hand is probably he's obviously going to kill a lot of people. But the way he went out, if this really was it. What do you think a little tiny dagger to the neck is going to do in that scenario when you're surrounded by all the other people, his little henchmen? How is that going to play out? I don't know.
It's taken a lot of his foes out before in his life, and he's lived a long time.
Yeah, you're right. I'm not saying I think it's permanent. I do. I don't know how they're going to bring him back from this, mainly because of the line that Thanos says after he snaps his neck, where he's just like, no resurrections this time, right? You know what I mean? Like, he wouldn't have said that snarky line if it wasn't permanent.
I'm on the same page, Adora. I think Loki's dead, but if he comes back and I wouldn't be surprised if he comes back with some crazy, I was really in a different planet and that was my fake body thing,
Okay, and then obviously in that same scene, Heimdall, who is Idris Elba, is the one who sent Hulk back to Earth with his last. It was like his last magic, or his last little black magic, or whatever.
His last bridge thing.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that one's probably the end of that too.
Yeah, he's definitely dead.
I'm really glad they did that because even after I think it was Age of Ultron, like I literally was like, I don't know how Hulk's gonna get back. You really need to, they're really gonna have to make it a good storyline because I don't understand how he would be able to make it back. And so I'm really glad they actually showed that detail.
Yeah.
And they got that
many
pretty
ways
spot
to make
on.
it back. That Bifrost is cheat code.
It really is. To me, that's lazy writing. No, I'm kidding. It's to me, Heimdall is awesome when Asgard's around. However, there is no more Asgard, so he's probably expendable at this point, which they obviously expended him. So.
Yeah, but his vision. No, I mean he should be called Vision if anything. But
Yeah,
his
that's
vision
true.
was godly.
He was a
That
freaking
is
monster.
true.
You're right.
And he could bring you to see what the hell he's seeing. Like what he could do with just eyes was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question though. How about the green girl? I think she's dead permanently too.
Gamora is like
Yeah.
a key cog in Guardians of the Galaxy. You think she's not coming back?
Yeah, I think she's dead because it took her soul to get the Soul Stone, and then
But it's
and
just that. It's the Soul Stone.
But
what do you mean?
I mean, to me, this is
If
the
anything,
easiest
that's
one.
where her soul is.
Well, to me,
To be
to me,
honest-
this is the easiest one to
to be
reverse.
honest-
You just take
Oh,
it.
sorry,
You
go
just
ahead.
take. Yeah, this is the easiest one to reverse to me. Is you just take it back there and be like, all right, you want the stone back? Give me the freaking. You know what I mean? Give me the soul. There you go.
Is that how it works?
I don't-
You just
I
trade
don't-
it?
Hey, don't forget, Thanos saw her in that realm. I'm assuming was inside the Soul Stone.
Yeah.
She was long dead, but he still talked to her child self or whatever. So her essence is still in the Marvel universe.
Yeah, that's true.
To be honest,
I mean,
it
I
wouldn't
guess
surprise
so.
me if there's a loophole somewhere where when someone sacrifices their life for the Soul Stone, there's some loophole that can bring them back. That, to be honest, I have a feeling she'll be back. I'm pretty confident in that one.
I don't know. I think she's dead, but we'll see.
I mean, she took a hard fall. I will say that.
Yeah.
There's like green brains of her. You can see that?
Yeah, she took a real hard fall.
Okay, and that's like-
blood, a little bit.
No, it was
come
like
back, she-
splatter, dude. You gotta look closer.
Well,
If
she
she
was
come
laying.
back, she definitely gonna have some bruises.
Yeah, she was laying in like the stereotypical. I just fell from a high height. You know what I mean? Like a tall height lay.
The leg is
The leg-
slightly awkward.
Yeah, it's like the stereotypical I fell lay stance. But okay. Anyway,
Yeah.
I think she's gonna come back. I think she's too important to Guardians of the Galaxy
Right.
moving forward. I don't think she's
Right,
dead
right.
for good.
Not necessarily, because they could have also killed her off because of how that touchingness between her and Star Lord or whatever,
Oh yeah.
and just that sacrifice that he had to lose her. He was willing to lose her, but he didn't make it happen. But Thanos did, so maybe she could be gone
No,
technically.
I disagree. No, I get what you're saying, but if they're trying to spin it so Nebula it takes over for her, it's going to be a much more worse movie. I think better. You got to bring Gamora back. She's like the main two people.
Oh, I've got theories for Nebula too.
Anybody
And
else
possible spoilers
realize?
from the comics?
Anybody else realize just how close they all were to succeeding before Star-Lord decided to just
For
go
real.
like
Yeah.
Mayweather on him?
Yeah.
It's all Star Lord's fault. I mean, they literally had the gauntlet on
Literally,
his hand.
it was
Star-Lord
barely almost off his fingers, and then he decided to just start throwing haymakers.
For real. Like, for what reason? Like, this dude's crazy.
Well,
They brought-
Did anybody
this
else?
dude cost the whole universe. Like,
Well,
half
did-
the universe.
did anybody else
Literally,
think it was-
about it. Everyone that disappeared, everyone that's gone now, all because of Star-Lord.
Well,
But
did
no one's
anybody
gonna
else?
see it that way? But I see it that way.
Uh,
Are we going to talk about that though?
What?
Are we going to talk about the fact that they just disappeared? We never saw them die.
No, we'll get there.
They
We'll
just
get there. Stop.
disappeared.
We'll get there. We're
But
going
which
down
is
the line
the reason
here.
why I say I have a feeling. I don't know if this was probably going to be something we were gonna get to, but that's why I have a feeling that the solution is going to be to reverse time.
I think that's the only solution is to
Yeah,
get the time
okay,
stone
stop,
and
listen.
bring back
Only thing that
time.
makes
But I
sense.
can't see any other storyline to where they can do
All right.
this.
Anything that happens ever would be pointless if you could just time zone.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Okay. Stop. Seriously. Hold on. Let's go down. Let's
Well,
finish
I
this
mean,
list
if
real
we're looking
quick.
at X-Men: Days of Futures Past for a second,
That's
they
not-
would've reset
Not the same.
everything.
Not the
So,
same
here we go.
producers and
it's been
directors.
done.
Not the same studios. Fox
I know.
butchered that one's on their own. So let's continue to go down the list, and then we'll get to see who survived, and we'll try to figure out what their form of action is after all this. So Gamora's gone, but we think she'll be back. At least I do, and I think majority of us. So Loki, Heimdall, probably gone for good at this point. Vision died, but he didn't disintegrate. He literally had the stone ripped out of his head. To me, that's another easy fix. Put the stone back in his head. I don't know.
I got comic lore for that backup if you want.
What
Okay.
is that?
Yeah. No.
Go for
If
it.
you have info, then
Well,
by
in
all
the
means.
comics, he does come back as a colorless Vision. He's just like a white, kind of like emotionless shell of himself, and like he does get like resurrected, but he's not at all what he used to be, and he does. I mean, I guess some heroing, but he's like no emotion behind it. He's just straight AI. There's like nothing behind him, and there's no color to him. There's no nothing. And that happens for a few issues, but I mean, he does have a stint in Marvel being that.
Okay.
So
that's kind of dark for the movies, though. I feel like
who knows?
So he would have been the actual Vision he was intended to be, basically.
And that didn't happen in the movie because after he lost
maybe he would have seen the knife
lost
coming.
his color.
That's true. Yeah, he was like pale and like gray.
Yeah, he did get to that state. So even if, and plus we never saw how far T'Challa's sister did with separating his consciousness. Yeah. She might actually have a certain amount of his consciousness with her.
Oh, that's true.
I did not think about that.
Remember when that dude came in, like she hit a bunch of buttons and then she hit her.
Well, she
like,
was
she
even if it was like 98%, she's got plenty of friggin' that software and AI intelligence or whatever with her.
She could probably back it
up. So that's still a possibility.
That's true. So he might be able to still function without the stone and have his bland personality input back into the robot. So anyway,
I'm so sick of Vision. I hope he stays dead.
No, but listen, when Vision had the Infinity Stone,
one thing that happened,
I'm salty, dude.
So hurt right now.
I just can't believe this dude's so powerful in Age of Ultron, and then now he's like a liability. He's a liability for the Avengers, dude.
Okay, that was the 4 people who died pretty much on screen without what happened at the end, which was the snap of the fingers by Thanos with all the Infinity Stones. And then these people started disintegrating, and we will start with who do you think they'll come back? We can basically make our assumptions here, but Black Panther disintegrated. Let's be real.
The movie coming out.
He just had a movie.
Black Panther will be back.
Yeah, he's coming back. I mean, depending on we don't know how, but we'll get to that in the end. We'll try to make our assumptions on it. But I'm pretty sure after all this is said and done, Black Panther will still be an Avenger.
Well, I just think everyone that like turned to dust when he snapped his fingers is going to come back the same time, same way. The time stone, like that's the only way they can do it, right?
Yeah, but then
that's what I would think.
No. There's other ways. Good.
Okay, all right. Spider-Man, aka Peter Parker. By the way, who was the saddest one? I was freaking losing it when he started disintegrating. I was like, my God.
Oh my God.
I was like, ooh. I don't know.
I don't want to go, Mr. Stark. Please, I'm scared. He's like, oh my, no, he's a kid. Don't let him go. And he started disintegrating. I'm like, shit, bro.
As long as Iron Man doesn't die, I really couldn't care less who else got disintegrated.
Yeah.
I was convinced he was about to bite it.
That was the ultimate little bait and switch, though.
After it was all done, and like I was even wondering why. Like when I started going down the list of people they kept, think about it. They kept the core Avengers.
They did.
Everyone else that was just like an add-on over time is who they got rid of.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Spider-Man.
Do
you think Spider-Man's coming back? I say yes. There's a movie coming out. Like he's got a sequel already lined up. However, I did see a theory that the Peter Parker that we know, if he was gone forever, Miles Morales would come in and do his stint as.
Well, I wouldn't be sad.
Who's Miles Morales?
Whoa, Reggie. Whoa, we need to talk. I need you to chill the hell out.
Yeah, Reggie.
Yeah, Jason has no idea either.
Who's Miles Morales?
Oh my God!
Spanish Spider-Man.
He really is. Yeah, pretty much.
Come on.
Orale.
Oh no.
Who's Miles Morales?
He's essentially the one who takes over for Peter Parker's throne, but it's way down the line after Peter Parker kind of runs his course. He's like next in line and takes over the throne of Spider-Man at some point.
Is he a black Spider-Man?
He's black in Spanish.
Yeah, it's not Venom. No, he's not that black.
Oh, so you mean like Childish Gambino or whatever?
No, not Childish Gambino.
Actually, no. The thing with Childish Gambino, he is a villain. I forgot what his name is, but his thing is he climbs shit a lot. So, like, when the guy was running down the list of weapons he was going to give him, he's like, I just want a gun, whatever. I have this, and climbers. Like, ooh, climbers. That really got him excited.
Oh.
That was really to be a thing for his character.
Okay, I never knew. I never knew what he was doing.
Who's his character?
He's a villain, but his nephew is Miles Morales, who would be on Spider-Man.
So yeah. See, Miles Morales does live in this universe, so it could be a possibility that he comes back. But to me, it's way too early. Peter Parker's still a kid, so it's like, why they're not gonna end him now. Peter Parker's gonna come back, and they'll run the course. So.
Speaking of early Spider-Man things, I think it was way too early for Peter to get the freaking Iron Spider freaking suit and the back arms and everything. But on the flip side, it makes a lot of sense because Spider-Man never had the Marvel ties and Iron Man or whatever. So technically, I'm mad at it, but technically, I like it.
It's true.
I think he had to so he could go into space. You know?
Yeah.
That I was thinking a lot more practical. He would have died.
Yeah, that's true.
So
yeah,
he kind of needed it, but
it's good
I
that
like Niki's answer better.
Yeah, it's good that he had that lined up.
More insightful.
One of my favorite relationships is Tony Stark and Peter Parker. Like, it's almost like a father-son type deal, and the fact that he's also hitting on his aunt all the time is pretty funny too. But
his aunt's hot, yeah. So.
All right, let's move
fact,
on.
Those two actually dated.
Oh,
in real life, IRL.
Yeah.
That's pretty cute. Okay, moving on.
I doubt the movies are gonna get like so in depth as the comics get with like getting Miles Morales and like people they wouldn't do people who they wouldn't know, you know.
Yeah, no, but
more common type of.
Yeah, that's why they made it.
He's probably eventually gonna have his own thing.
Yeah,
I'm
Reggie.
Sure.
Yeah, he exists, but fans will be like, "Who the heck is that guy?"
Reggie, I
Why
totally
Spider-Man
agree.
black?
I totally agree.
Correct. Fans are waiting for it.
Reggie,
they're dying for it.
I agree with you. Up until the point when I saw the Ant-Man movie, and I was like, okay, they can literally do anything they want. They could put out Turd Man, and everybody would flood the theaters to see it. It doesn't even matter. So I think if in a natural progression that Miles Morales could actually come to fruition, but not for 10 years down the line if this keeps going.
That's true.
So moving on, we can go to Doctor.
Ant-Man's a good movie though.
What's
Ant-Man's
that?
a good movie.
Oh, Ant-Man surprised the hell out of me. I loved it. Okay, Doctor Strange is another one who disintegrated towards the end, and his lines were, I'm pretty sure it's the only way, or he had to do what he had to do to give him the time stone, because he saw the scenarios. What was it, 14,600,000 something, blah blah blah, and he only saw
like that. Only one scenario worked where they came on top. So I'm assuming that's the only reason he backed out on his vow to give up the time stone.
Yes. So I mean, I would assume he's going to come back too. I mean, he's only had one movie. And to me, he's one of the more interesting ones of them all, because he just seems really powerful, and he's got all that little witchcraft and wizardry. He went to Hogwarts. You can tell.
Yeah, he graduated right up there,
top of his class.
He graduated first in his class.
No, second. Harry was first.
Oh,
Harry, and then
Harry, and then Doctor Strange.
All right, Winter Soldier, aka Bucky Barnes, and Falcon both disintegrated as well.
Did they really? Dang.
Yeah, man, they're gone. They're gone. Do you think they'll come back? I mean, listen. At this point, you're right. I think that everyone who got dusted will come back in some form or fashion.
Yeah, me too.
So I guess we can just go down the line. They're not huge characters.
There eventually will be an actual permanent death, but I mean, it's not going to be everyone that we saw.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, everyone else basically, Scarlet Witch and pretty much the entirety of the Guardians of the Galaxy, aside from Rocket Raccoon, they're not going to let that fly. So they're all going to come back. Scarlet Witch was another one, and at the very end in the credits scene, Nick Fury and I forget what her name is, but.
She's so annoying. I can't stand her. From How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah, How I Met Your Mother.
She's the worst actor. Gosh.
Oh, come on. But what happened at the end of the post-credit scene, though, obviously is going to allude to a little more stuff going on in the future. So
yeah, a little.
Spoiler alert.
I'm going to be the one to ask. Does anyone know what that symbol meant? That was on, I guess, Fury's pager thing, or whatever.
Doyle does.
Yeah, Doyle. Yeah, go for it.
That would be the signal for Captain Marvel,
that's what I read. I just have no idea who the hell is Captain Marvel.
She's pretty much a freaking beast. She's essentially like Marvel's Superman, from my understanding, right? I mean, she's pretty OP. So
pretty much, you know.
What's OP?
Just a tank. She's a beast. He's just like, I can't handle it. All right. Anyway. No, dude. Yeah. So basically, what I'm curious about is she's gonna have her. Well, there's two movies that I know for sure that are gonna happen before the follow up to Infinity War, and it's Ant-Man and the Wasp, and Captain Marvel's gonna get her movie. But from what I understand, it's gonna be based in the '90s. So
Yeah, it's a prequel.
so I would assume both of these movies are going to end with some sort of transition into Infinity War.
To the Infinity War, yeah. And I heard that since like Nick Fury's pager was like a '90s looking thing. That's why, because it was set in the '90s.
Yeah.
So there'd be some kind of like where she goes forward in time or back in, I don't know.
Which is curious
it's like
to me.
Old pager, so that makes sense.
Yeah, which is kind of weird.
Speaking of time, did anyone else get slapped in the mouth by the appearance of Red Skull?
Yes,
Yeah,
I
that was
loved
crazy.
it. Oh my god, I loved it.
I was dying. Like, what happened to him since the first Captain America? And I finally found out.
Remember what happened at the end? Yeah, he got sucked up into outer space. Remember?
Yep. He got taken up by the blue one they have, the Tesseract.
Yeah. So that's where he wound up, and he's lived an eternal life
for
of
God
sadness.
knows how long.
Yeah.
For centuries, for lifetimes.
Okay.
That's what I thought was gonna happen to Hulk if he didn't find a way back down. He was gonna be stuck up there doing something, twiddling his thumbs.
No.
Wait, so
choked out the universe instead of getting back.
Why did the Hulk not want to transform?
Because he got his ass kicked by Thanos and
he's
he's an emotional little child. Like he has the emotional like fortitude of a goldfish. Like he's just not.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's basically got a
Have you never seen the
toddler's
Dog Whisperer?
emotions.
Once you find out who the alpha male is, you do not mess with that.
So because he got beat up by Thanos, he's all soft now?
Yeah, well, obviously it was convenient for them to write that in the movie because Hulk is such a tank, but he really is emotional, like the Hulk side of him, and when he's never really been beat to trash like that, you know what I mean? Like, he's never taken a beating like that.
Well, that's true. True.
I was dying when the Hulk tried coming out, and like in the middle of a fight, and he's trying to come out, and he's like gritting as hard as he can, and nothing's happening.
That was so awkward. The CGI on that was a little odd too. It was weird. But
the CGI looked unfinished when Banner was sitting in the tank buster.
Yes,
it just looked trashed.
Yes, he did look really weird in the Hulkbuster. That tiny little head CGI'd onto a giant. I don't know. It was weird. My question about
they screwed up the trailers too because they had Hulk running in there with everybody.
Yeah,
that did not happen.
And they pulled that back. They duped us. We've been duped. But the post credit scene, I want to hit that one more time before we move on from it. He hits that button, which it looks like an outdated little pager, which probably is from the 90s, and he's probably had it since some sort of thing that happens in the movie that we have yet to see. My question is, at what point this is when you decide to hit the button, not when the aliens are invading in Avengers 1 or Ultron slaughtering everybody in Avengers 2.
Well, you think you've got a plan A, which is the Avengers. Now, once half of them, if not all of them, get disintegrated, you think, okay, I gotta do this.
So I guess my question is, where has what was the name again? Captain Marvel or whatever?
Yeah.
Where has she been this whole entire time? Because we've been seeing the Avengers from the very beginning, and we're under the impression that these are the most powerful superheroes in Earth, and then we've met the ones in the galaxy, and we've met even Thor. Like, we've met all these powerful superheroes from all these different worlds, and now we're finding out that there's one even I'm assuming greater than all of them.
More.
In my head, I'd like to think that maybe she's like in some sort of like cryo sleep or something based off what I've seen with at least Captain America. They put him and Bucky and people like that in like some sort of cryo thing, pulled them out when they needed them. I'm assuming that's like giving the authority to release her or something like that, wake her up and she can come do something. I assume that's just the first thing that came to my head.
So you think that she was from the same era as Captain America and she was in the same freeze as him?
No.
Or...
You know, he was way before that. He was like what, 40s or 50s? Whatever.
Yeah, he was like 40s. Yeah. But I know I mean, the universe is huge. She could just as well be out in that like a random part of the universe. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how far that pager goes, but I guess we'll know whenever we see the movie. So when that comes out, I think at the end of the year, or is it just? I think it might be just
the next
before.
few movies that come out. Like, are they like if they come out before Infinity War Part 2? Do you think they're going to address how people have just gone vanishing?
Yes,
whatever.
In my opinion,
I think they're
Ant-Man
going to address everything. I think with all these movies, they've always addressed everything pretty good. Like, they always talk about
even
stuff.
like Ant-Man and Wasp, I didn't see anybody just even looking remotely shook from half the population being gone.
Well, that's because it's not
before this movie.
Yeah, it's going to happen probably right before all this happens, and then probably ease into as it happens. Like I fully expect the post-credit scene to wipe out one of those two. You know what I mean? Like people start disintegrating in the post-credit scene or at the very end of the movie. That's going to be the bridge to Infinity War. You know what I mean?
Was Ant-Man in the movie?
No, he was not.
No.
Not in this movie. It was and they mentioned it. Ant-Man and Hawkeye were both put in house arrest. They mentioned it in the movie.
That's what that was. Yeah.
Yeah, I could see both of them coming into the next movie. Though I could see like a whole bunch of people, like everyone that wasn't in this movie, I think will be in the second movie, like to fight when everyone else is dead, and then like help bring everyone else back.
Yeah, where was Wonder Woman? Where was Batman? You know what I mean? I'm kidding. I'm just kidding, guys.
I was
Chill.
gonna say, I'm
Chill.
like, wait.
Hiding in the Batcave because they're smart.
Well, I saw. Yeah, seriously. Okay.
Hell? You're not gonna get out there and get thumped by Thanos.
Here's what's interesting to me. Here's the people who made it, who lived. So this is the team that's going to be left to try to figure out what's going to happen and figure out how to undo everything that's happened. Captain America lived, Iron Man lived, Thor lived, and Hulk lived. Like Jason said, that's the original Avengers. And
Didn't Storm
Black
live as
Widow.
well?
Black Widow lived too.
Black Widow. Good God! Wow.
He says Storm.
Storm. What?
Where's Wolverine?
Yeah.
He wasn't there. No
That'd be
good.
hilarious. You see Wolverine start to disintegrate, but he just keeps regenerating.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, basically this is essentially the originals. Hulk, Black Widow, Thor, Iron Man, Captain America, and War Machine still lives.
Oh God, he's the
and-
worst.
And from
Don
Guardians,
Cheadle's old ass.
Don Cheadle's too old to be. He's like
Thank you,
he's like
Reggie.
75 years old. He should not be fighting anybody.
oh my gosh,
He watches his grandkids.
he can do what he wants when he's got
Jeez.
those friggin' walking pants. He can do anything.
They should bring back what's his name from Hustle and Flow.
By the way, Don Cheadle's only 53.
How old's Don Cheadle?
He's only 53.
He looks 73.
He
Only
did.
53, and he's a superhero.
He
Give
did
him a
look-
23-year-old.
Age was
33.
not good to him.
Robert
Yeah,
Downey's like 50 something.
yeah.
but
No.
he looks like he can do what the hell he's doing.
Yeah, it looks like a spring
Cheadle,
chicken.
you can see the grays and like the bags under his eyes and the extra shine on his forehead. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
Okay.
he has a. Yeah, Robert Downey's 53, same age.
Okay, and
Yikes.
just to clear it up, from Guardians of the Galaxy, Rocket and Nebula both survived. Nikki, you said you had something about Nebula you think's gonna happen.
Well, in the comics, there's like, I mean, I don't want to be the spoiler guy, but I mean, that's probably for part 2 spoiler. But in the comics, she's like a big part of like doing something with Thanos and getting his glove and being the reason everybody comes back after that whole he was tearing her apart thing, and she just completely just loses all.
Well, she's got
Yeah, but
out of everybody, she's obviously got the closest connection to him at this point. I mean, we'll see how that plays out. And then from Black Panther's posse, it is Okoye and M'Baku, which is M'Baku's like the big dude from the other
Right.
the other group, and then his sister I think is still alive.
Mm-hmm.
No, wait, Okoye
Not
is
to
never
Not
mind.
to be the guy that waves his massive, knowledgeable wang in everybody's face, but I got some more of that stuff too. But yeah,
No, wait, you're right. Wait, Okoye is actually Denai Guerrera. What's her name? On Walking Dead. That's who's still alive. You know what I mean? Michonne from Walking Dead. She's still alive.
Hey, she can't be killed.
She really
And
can't.
then and then his sister's still alive too.
His sister,
Suri?
apparently,
Suri,
we don't know for sure though. The last time we saw her was getting smacked from. She was just laying
That's
there.
true.
We don't know if she disintegrated or not. We didn't see that.
That's true.
And we also, we don't know if Hawkeye. Obviously, Ant-Man is sticking around, but we don't know if he disintegrated yet either. We'll figure that out. I don't know what did I write. The Asian dude who was with Doctor Strange. He may or may not
Wong?
still be alive. Yeah, Wong. I don't know where he is either.
He just dipped on everybody.
He just dipped.
Yeah, he's like, I have a building to protect. I'll see you guys later. Like, okay, thanks. And Pepper Potts, we don't know if she's still alive either. But correct me if I'm wrong. At the end of Iron Man 3, did she not get superpowers?
She
Oh, yeah, she
was
did.
like riddled with extremis. Yeah,
Does she still have those or no?
I hope so.
I don't know. I feel like they got that out of her system or something somehow. Maybe.
I
Yeah,
don't.
was that the one where he had surgery and she had surgery?
I don't remember. I honestly don't remember. I have to go back and watch it, but I was 99% sure she gained some crazy superpowers, and to this point has not used them at all. So it'd be pretty
We're gonna
lame.
need them.
Yeah.
We're gonna need the whole squad.
The only time we saw her between Iron Man 3 and I guess present day would be there was a huge gap from that till I think it was
Homecoming.
End of Homecoming,
Spider-Man
yeah.
Homecoming, yeah. And then,
But she's still hot though, so that's good.
Okay.
she's all right.
She's got that working.
Good for her. Okay, so at this point, I mean, if anybody has any questions on whether or not you think, or how do you think this is going to play out at this point? Because the group that we have is the original Avengers, Rocket Raccoon, Nebula, and just a couple other stragglers.
Yeah, I think everyone that we didn't see, like all the people who were in previous movies who didn't show up in this movie, will come and help out, like Valkyrie and fucking the Rock dude and Hawkeye and shit like that will come and like try to save the day, help out the remaining people, and then
something like that.
I have a feeling you're gonna see
Stone.
a lot of characters a lot of like side role characters in a lot of these movies. I feel like you're gonna start seeing some of them come back because I don't believe that the core Avengers are going to be able to do it by themselves. I really don't.
You know what's
So I
concerning
think
to
if
me is everybody that Oh, go ahead.
What's that?
Go ahead.
I have a feeling that if you ask me, I feel like it's gonna have to be something where the majority of the movie is spent just trying to get basically fighting Thanos to reverse time. And what I was thinking was towards the end of the movie, in the next movie, towards the end is when they finally reverse time. But throughout the whole entire movie, they have to get almost like a new team together to basically take on Thanos.
Well, yeah, that's
elaborating on it. I feel like that's what's going to happen. At least they wiped off that many Avengers to give more face time to the lesser known ones, but are still quote unquote Avengers. But you could not fit that many people in one movie, so that's why they had to, in my opinion, break it up into two movies, wipe away the first half, and get the other guys fighting with the core Avengers. Give more of them face time as far as the movie goes.
But here's the thing: the people that they left standing aren't the core. It's essentially only the core Avengers. So they're just going to get more face time. But to me, that's
you're gonna have Miss Marvel or Captain Marvel. You're gonna have Ant-Man and Wasp. You're gonna have everybody else that's gonna have a movie in between. Then
still no.
I still believe the black guy in Doctor Strange is gonna come back as well. My little theory.
He could.
I don't know. I think
he just want him to come back.
He walked away
left with
so
a freaking
randomly.
vengeance.
Bro, when he walked away, I was like, for real? You literally saved the whole world. And you're going to walk away because the Ancient One decided to draw their powers from the dark side. Like, dude.
That man's going to come back with a vendetta, I promise you.
What's that?
He's going to come back with a vendetta. He's got, like, a shit list, and people are going to be on it.
Okay, the most concerning
seemed like he was out for blood.
The most concerning thing to me is the route that they took by not disintegrating any of the originals. They kind of left it was almost like the bait and switch where Iron Man got stabbed. They got rid of essentially all the new ones. Like, I mean, everybody wants I want to see more Spider-Man. I want to see more Black Panther. I want to see more Doctor Strange. They're not giving us that, which only to me, out of what's left here, I think we're going to lose one and or two, possibly three. I think this is out of the people who are surviving right now. Those are the people who will leave permanently. Somebody's going like this is the crop here that we're going to lose. I think two to three people.
I think at least Captain America and
I don't.
Probably it. Maybe Tony Stark.
It could be Captain America and Tony, honestly.
Yeah,
I definitely think Tony for sure because Tony's been close to dying way too many times. I think finally his time's gonna come.
Yeah, and they can take War Machine too.
What are those trash ass shields that Cap got?
Oh yeah, he doesn't have his shield back. Tony Stark took
he got
it.
like two little like collapsible little gauntlet shield things that
it
were
was weird.
trash.
It was weird, but Tony Stark has his shield. He gave it to him. Remember, he's just like, take it. He's like, that's my dad's. My dad made that. Remember that at the end of Civil War?
I don't know why he didn't. I mean, I don't know why they think this is better. They give this man a shield. They give him that crap. Give him a shield back.
I bet you next movie he'll get his shield back. Iron Man. They'll get back to Earth. Iron Man will give him his shield back. It'll be this whole thing, and I think they go out in a blaze. They go out in a blaze of glory.
I do like Rogue Captain America though. He's a badass.
Oh, he absolutely is a badass. So
I don't know about you guys, but in the theater that I saw when Captain came back, people were like standing up, clapping, like they were like that hyped.
I didn't.
God.
Okay, that was
I
pretty
was like,
sweet.
oh, wow,
That was pretty sweet. But I didn't get really hyped until I saw Thor come back to Wakanda and just start laying wood on everybody.
that was
it was
badass.
so
my
sick.
God.
I think
it was
Thor
his
coming
new
back to
hammer, the
Wakanda was
Stormbringer.
badass.
His new axe hammer or whatever, the Stormbringer. It's just straight out of Ultimate Thor.
It's
Good
freaking
gosh.
tank, dude. Oh my god, he's a freaking monster. So I don't see a
Yeah, I
scenario
think-
where Thor dies, and if I do, I'd be like, if Thor dies, everybody dies, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's true. I just think it's gonna be
So
Captain
are we
America
gonna just like
and
skip over
Iron
the
Man.
fact that he just got his eye back because Rocket had his kleptomaniac phase again?
Yeah.
Gave him a little eye, and that's it.
I
I
like
was like, you mean to tell me that you're wearing the rabbit's eye?
no, okay. Listen, I think it's clever how they did that because he did steal the eye in a previous Guardians of the Galaxy. I think it's pretty clever how they did that. However, I did find out that it was mainly because Hemsworth didn't want to act with an eye patch for the rest of the series. He didn't. He just wanted an eyeball back. So now all he has to wear is a contact as opposed to an actual eye patch. Nobody wants to act with an eye patch.
True.
That's true.
Yeah, that's true. I wouldn't want to. Though. Yo, give me a fucking eye. You kidding me? Out here with the eye patch.
Ugh.
I mean, Samuel L. Jackson can do it.
That's true, but I mean, he hasn't really been
Yeah.
acting much, we haven't seen him in so long. It's been
I loved his going words. Motherfucker.
yeah,
He's
of
just
course,
gone.
of course.
What movie was he in last?
I
Was
don't.
that,
wasn't it Winter
Civil
Soldier?
War?
I thought it was Winter Soldier.
Jeez.
What was the one who was like in that barn, like hiding when they all came back to the house? Remember?
I thought that was Winter Soldier. Was it not?
Yeah, Winter Soldier. Yeah.
No, I thought that was Civil War.
No,
Civil War.
Civil War. No.
Yeah, he didn't have a part in Civil War. I don't remember seeing him there. It's been a long time, and it is weird that he's never been revisited for like the entire time, and then all of a sudden in a post credit scene of the biggest movie that they've ever had thus far, he's just like there and then disintegrates again.
So what was with the giant midget?
Come on, man, Peter
my
Dinklage.
God.
Peter
That makes
Dinklage.
sense. Is that an oxymoron?
No, he's where he's from. He's a dwarf, but they're huge in comparison to us.
Yeah.
How big are the people there? What?
But it's like another like because where Thor is or whatever, they deal in like all those realms or whatever. There's like the freaking ice giants. There's a realm where the dwarves make weapons out of stars, and there's
Not
like
anymore.
9 little realms. Things are weird out there, yes, but not
Yes,
everything
things
they do.
are weird.
So the people are beyond ginormous there. If that's a dwarf.
I think the funniest thing is that they're just like big and tall, and they're like, "Yeah, I'm a dwarf." No,
Yeah.
you're not.
I'm tiny, even though he's
You're
like
the
18.
furthest
Yeah.
dwarf.
Well, he works on dwarf stars, so huge in comparison, technically.
Oh, and my question is, and I had it at the end of the movies, and I told Kristen this, and I was like, I don't understand why it hadn't happened. Groot is the handle for Thor. However, when he disintegrates, the handle for Thor's hammer/axe is still there. What's up with that?
Maybe it wasn't part of Groot anymore. It was
It's just a piece of wood now?
Just a
No.
branch.
Remember during the thing in the foundry or wherever he makes his thing, he just needed he needed the handle.
Right. He just needed a hand, so Groot just gave up his arm. So then, yeah, technically it's still there, but it doesn't have any power, does it? The handle?
No. Well, no, I don't think the
So
handle
I
has
think-
power, but I'm sure he'll
I don't
find
think
it.
it's something. I don't think it's something to worry about. But at the same time, that is interesting that you bring that up because part of me was thinking, oh, well, Groot will get his arm back, and then I thought about it. As soon as he got the handle, he left to go to Wakanda. So
I think it's funny. I think it's funny how Groot can conveniently regrow his arms over and over again and as long and as big as possible, but he can't grow up to big ass Groot on his own.
Well, trees grow at a certain speed, right?
Yeah, apparently not the
So now there's
branches.
science. Now we're talking.
Well, think about it.
Grow
Now,
like
you
you
wanna
know.
throw you cut off like the freaking branches
We
off
don't
a
wanna
tree.
throw
The branches
science in,
grow
we were
faster
talking
than
about
the
the
entire
dwarves?
tree would.
So we got giant dwarfs and people flying around the universe, but now we're talking about science.
I'm just saying.
But
All right.
But trees decide to grow at a normal.
You cut branches off a tree, and the branches will come back faster than the entire tree comes up.
That's
I mean,
okay.
I guess you're
All
right.
right,
I
you're
mean,
right.
that makes sense. But
You're right.
what does make sense in this universe?
All right, there's two more things I want to do.
So hurt by it.
Oh my God. Two more things I want to do before we wrap this up is when Thanos snapped his fingers and they did that whole that scene where he obviously talked to Gamora, whatever that was. I
Right.
guess we'll figure out what that is. But when he came back, that gauntlet was essentially toast. Did you see that? It was pretty trashed.
Oh yeah, I did see that.
And
I do believe there was a theory saying that was like sort of the end of the second part of the movie, leaning as far as like more shit has happened since we last saw him. But he's like pretty much going out to some like other planet where he's just content and just feels victory or whatever.
I'm not talking about the sunset.
When...
I'm not talking about the sunset scene. I'm talking about while he's still like being like the axe is still being pressed in his because it went back to that where Thor was still pressing in his chest. Then he just disintegrated and disappeared out. But his gauntlet was trashed. And whenever they showed that sunset scene, I looked at his arm again, and the second time, his arm is still jacked, and he's hobbling. He's obviously pretty jacked up right now. So I'm assuming this scab crew is probably going to take advantage of the fact that he's weak right now. But they have to find him first.
Crew.
Scab crew. Gauntlet is like Thor's hammer, though. It's just a thing built by those dwarves. It's the Infinity Stones is what the power is. The gauntlet just holds the stones.
Right.
No, I know.
Yeah,
I'm not
true.
saying. I know. Obviously, if he still has the stones, that's fine. He can figure out how to use them. But if the gauntlet is busted, he can't necessarily wield it as frivolously as he had been the whole movie.
Sure, I guess.
And
we'll find out.
well,
I guess
that and he's like actually hurt. Like the dude's actually hurting. So like he didn't.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So whatever. I mean, obviously that was a big deal, and it pretty much wiped out. It did wipe out half the universe. So we'll see. I mean, we'll see what happens in the next movie. But
that's crazy. And I mean, and like half the universe is gone. So like even like if the Avengers go back to find help somewhere, like half the people in the world are dead too. So they got to figure that out.
all my friends are dead.
Like everyone's families and stuff, like half of them are gone. You know.
Lil Uzi predicted it.
Yeah.
All my friends are dead. Damn.
That was the first sign.
That was deep.
Oh my
deep.
gosh.
Marvel like paid Lil Uzi to come with that song. Yo, drop this song. A little Easter egg.
So did anybody else think of the fact that like, oh yeah, anyone in the world right now who's like flying a plane
Oh
or
my God,
who's
yeah.
like, I don't know, just doing something very dangerous and they disappear, you know, there's going to be a little bit of chaos that's going to happen.
That's
We already
what I'm
saw it at the
saying.
end scene,
Well,
like a helicopter or a plane crash into a building. Like,
Exactly.
you don't think we're going to see any more chaos in the world in the next movies that come after Infinity War?
I'm sure.
was my question.
Yeah.
You
That
guys
should
just
be
brush
like
it
that.
off like I'm being crazy.
How's that a question? Of course it's gonna be chaos.
Yeah.
Half the people are gone.
No, I'm saying the movies that are releasing this year before Infinity War Part 2, are they going to be between Infinity War or just before?
Just well, I mean,
It's
Ant-Man's
just
gonna be
before.
just before,
And
then the
Part 2 or Part 1?
what are
maybe
you
part
talking
2.
about? Ant-Man is coming out like this summer, I'm pretty sure, or next
Yeah,
month
it's
even.
not soon.
So but the time frame for that, is that just before Infinity War happens? The first
Yeah,
one?
Yeah, it
first
has to
one.
be. It
Just
has to be.
first Infinity War, and then Captain Marvel's in the 90s.
Yeah, Captain.
Basically,
So are
every
any of the
movie
movies that are coming out going to be between
It's
this
just
movie
those two. It's just those two before the next what's it called? Next Avengers.
pretty much every movie that comes after this Infinity War, they really need to have their details spot on because there's a lot, and I think that's the reason why everybody was just in complete chaos with what just happened because there are so many details that they need to be spot on with now. Like it's
Well, the thing is,
it's really, but that's also the reason why what's going to make Part 2 even greater. I think we very well can see Part 2 might be the top selling movie.
yeah.
that
It has to be.
Marvel's come out
It'll
with.
have to be America, like with like blue balls, basically. Like we all have to know what happens.
Yes. Well, okay. There's only
Nobody's safe.
there's only
Oh,
two
yeah.
movies lined up before the Avengers sequel, which, by the way, they haven't given the name for it yet. They haven't even named it yet. Right now, it's still untitled, and I'm assuming
Infinity War Part 2.
yeah, it really should
Done.
just be Infinity
It's
War
got, like,
Part
the
2.
end or something.
But
Ooh.
yeah.
Ooh.
The end
Ant-Man-
of Infinity.
Yeah, like we said,
Hey.
Ant-Man and the Wasp is.
Trippy.
I gotta believe it's gonna be right in, and at the end, the post-credit scene will be the bridge to this Avengers movie, and the same thing with Captain Marvel. It'll be in the 90s, and then at the end, maybe down the line, whatever happens to her at the end, she crashes her plane
Goes
and,
into
and
the
falls
future.
into some ice.
Yeah.
I don't know.
She gives Nick Fury a friggin' pager. Hit this if you need me.
Yeah. Yeah. BBM me if you need me, or what is it?
That'd be cool in 20 years.
Yeah.
My AIM.
Find me on AIM. I'm gonna leave a screen message.
Okay.
Know where I'm at.
All right. One more thing I want to do before we wrap this up. Obviously, we've talked about this for 50.
I got several more things I wanted to point out too, but go for it.
No,
yeah.
let it rip because what I'm doing is completely unrelated
shoot.
and just for fun.
All right. Well, I also wanted to like have like a little Easter egg thing. I noticed that when Tony sent out the Iron Spider, it was Protocol 17A. But in Spider-Man, the comic 17, that's the same comic that Spider-Man got killed. Go figure, he died in this movie as well.
Ooh, conspiracy
I
theories.
guess in the comics, huh?
Conspiracy theories. I love them.
Dear gosh, Nikki, you dug deep for that.
Deep, bro.
Good God.
I love this stuff with a passion. Anyway, in the afterlife, Peter Parker meets Thanos there and Lady Death, and she takes pity on him and the girl that Spider-Man couldn't save, and that's the only way that he comes back in life.
Ooh.
I'm sure that's not going to tie it at all with the movie.
No.
But, it's just like some deep things going on in there. And also the nickname they kept calling Bucky in Wakanda. Does anyone know what that was?
The
White Wolf.
leopard or something.
White Wolf. Yeah, they said that in the end of Civil War, and they did that in the end of this one. That refers to White Wolf, which was Wakanda's spy master, and he's T'Challa's adopted Caucasian brother.
Damn.
I'm not saying they're going to do that with Bucky, but they were hitting a nice little bond they had since their initial fallout in Civil War, because he was out for blood at first, obviously, and now that he's patching him up and they're getting close or whatever. But let's see, he's pretty much like he's got a Black Panther suit and it's all just like pearl white with the vibranium.
Oh,
and
damn.
he's just as badass as he is.
That's pretty
Did you
sweet.
know all this stuff when you watched it, like when you saw it, or did you look up stuff after?
No, it's more deeper research once I found out all the Easter eggs.
Yeah,
Can
that's pretty
someone tell me?
badass.
Can someone tell me where to even find all these comics? Because
Dude.
at this point, I'm ready to just like drop everything and just start reading all these comics.
Bro, there's a million and one little things you didn't notice in the movie. You like have to either be a diehard fan of this stuff or it'll just go over your head. But there's like I have like a list of stuff to go over, but I mean we ain't got time for all that.
But
Those
that's
are like
good.
the most noteworthy
And
things.
you're telling me you read all the? You're telling me you read all these comics before
No.
the movie?
No. Research after the fact.
Yeah, no,
What
you
they
can
do.
find out a
That's
lot of
what
stuff.
They did that for the fans, though. For like real, the comic book fans, they put that stuff in there. So like, oh shit.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
like Marvel Wikipedia's, DC's Wikipedia page. I mean, you can delve into anybody's backstory at this point. But I do want to go back and I want to get the original like Civil War, and I want to get the original like Infinity War comics and go through those. I've been a sucker for DC comics, and I've been reading a lot of those. I just wish that their movie series and universe could catch up, but they're trying
They
way
need to
too
get their
hard.
life together.
They're spinning their tires right now. It's so sad. Okay.
They better not mess around and destroy my Deathstroke. They introduced him. They better do something with him.
Oh, they will
That's
find
true.
a way.
Was that Will
Yes.
Smith?
No.
That's
dead shot.
you moron.
Who's Deathstroke?
Deathstroke's the
Oh my God,
orange
Reggie.
and black guy
Ugh.
with the.
No, I mean, who's you said they introduced him. Who was he in the movie?
At the end
it was
credit,
post
the
credit scene
ninja dude that was talking to Lex Luthor,
on the boat.
black and orange.
Yeah, he came up on the boat.
One of my favorite characters.
Which
What-
movie was this?
Oh my God, Justice League, was it not?
I didn't see Justice League. That's all.
Oh, okay. Well, then
No.
there's your problem.
Awkward.
Okay, one
Well,
more little activity.
solved.
I wanted to do this real quick, and I want to hear the debate because I know that this could get heated with you guys. But I did it with Kristen earlier, and I wanted you to pick out of the cast from these movies, and based off of obviously everyone has personal preference, but if you could build your team of 4, just pick 4 of the Avengers. Or just
Oh
any
my
characters in the
God.
universe,
Oh.
MCU universe. I want to know. You got to pick 4. You can't pick any more. Who are you picking on your dream team?
I'm going Iron Man for sure. 1.
Okay.
Thor definitely 2. Damn. At this point, it's pretty much a wash. At this point, I would have said Vision
You
pre
get
this
Vision?
movie, but bruh, no, he's done.
This
He's
guy's
on the bench.
very disappointed by Vision.
I'm so mad at Vision. I mean, I take Iron Man and Thor. Like, I think the 2 strongest, and then from there it's maybe Black Panther, and then I would say Hulk, but he was kind of a pussy this movie too.
Okay,
so I
but
don't
it's
really
still
know.
gonna be the Hulk.
Are
All
we
right.
talking about based off this movie, or we're just talking about
Not
in
this
general?
movie. I'm talking about in general, like Marvel universe. Like, I mean, you can use
Okay.
these as a
And
base.
this is
Yeah.
not all its parts. I guess even if you want to include like prior to Infinity War, because everyone got their ass kicked. But the sum of what you've seen so far, who would you put?
Yeah, Doctor Strange, Hulk, Thor, Iron Man. I think that's the 4 strongest.
I gotta go Iron Man, Doctor Strange, Hulk. The last one's, oh man, this is gonna be hard. Oh, I want to say for the last one. I gotta say, wait. I said
Uh-oh.
Thor, right?
Yeah.
Did I? Why am I already
Wait,
forgetting?
recap what you said one more time.
Okay, I got Iron Man,
Okay.
Thor, Hulk, and Black Panther.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I did this and I couldn't find a scenario where Captain America and Spider-Man weren't on my team. I have to I
What?
Really?
I love Captain America. I need his moral compass. Cap's legit.
That's because you like them, not because they're.
Oh, come on.
No. Okay, listen.
If we're going off of wholesome, of course we would all choose Cap. We
No.
all want to be
Yeah,
good people.
It's
If we're
listen.
going off of if you get into a fight,
Hey.
who are the four that's got your back?
It's my team, all right? I do what I want, all right? I'm picking
Cap will
Captain
be like,
America.
take me.
I'm picking Captain America. I'm picking Spider-Man for sure. The dude's a savage, and he hasn't got his due yet in this series, but it's coming. I promise. Thor, you gotta pick. I think. I don't know.
Thor's a beast.
He's a literal god. I don't know how you can't pick Thor. This is when it was a toss up for me.
Oh, don't you do it.
I love Hulk. I really want him on my team. However, I find it hard to not throw Doctor Strange in after what I've seen from him. You know what I mean? Like the dude's a straight savage.
Oh my god, he's probably one of the strongest.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
if your threat is Earth based, they are not prepared to deal with him.
yeah.
Mhm.
So if I have Thor, I don't necessarily need a Hulk. You know what I mean? I got a savage. You know what I mean? He can do pretty much the dirty work there. So I'm gonna pick Doctor Strange from that. So it's Captain America. I know you guys can hate it as much as you want.
Brad Stevens.
Yeah,
I
Brad
was
Stevens,
thinking
my
it, but
man.
I don't know if I would put him. He'd be my 5th place.
Yeah, Captain America, Spider-Man, Thor, and Doctor Strange. That's my 4.
Brad Stevens would be ashamed right now.
He would. You know what? He would make that team win a championship. I guarantee it.
That's how they win in Avengers 2. Brad Stevens comes in and makes
Yeah.
the
That's it. He comes in and guides them. Guys, what do you need?
He guides them to victory.
There we go.
Nikki, I want to
Oh,
hear
my
yours,
God.
and I can hear that. I can
All right,
practically smell the smoke coming from the gears churning in your head.
Like everything in my mind hurts right now. I can't even fathom the scenario of picking only 4.
You have to. There's no choice.
Well, I mean, I can tell you the ones I like. I like
No.
Spider-Man,
No.
Black Panther,
Okay,
Iron Man,
no.
Cap.
So you like
all of them.
Now choose 4.
No, yeah, I want your pick. You can weigh in whether or not you're it's your picks. It doesn't have to be.
Wait,
I want the most
so what's
savage team of brutes.
What's the scenario? Because there's
Oh
so
my
much different
gosh! Just
combinations.
choose 4.
It's your
It's
team.
your life on the. You have 4 people to pick.
No. I would say it's your team that you've assembled, and you're a part of the group. Obviously, don't have many superpowers, but you know what I'm saying. But it's your group. I mean, like you can take into the account to me personalities and actual powers. I don't know. It's just an overall encompassing. This is your squad.
God. All right, whatever. Spider-Man, Black Panther, Iron Man.
Oh boy.
Doctor Strange, you know you want him.
Nick
He's a man.
Fury. Nick Fury.
He would do some crazy things, but I feel like just that extra, like, I want Doctor Strange, but I want that extra bit of, like, you can't plan for it. That's what I would take Scarlet Witch.
Scarlet Witch. No, that's
What?
no.
Oh
She's
my
okay.
God.
Stop.
What
She's
are you doing?
no. He's got it. He's onto something here because she's getting screwed in the movies. Her powers are so much better than just moving shit with her hands. All right.
Yeah, she's borderline Omega level, which is like slightly beyond freaking Charles Xavier. I don't think you
She's a
understand.
savage.
What is that, the Phoenix or something?
No, she's not the Phoenix.
She's basically that.
Yeah, but she has no control over it. I mean, she killed Black Panther's
No,
dad.
Phoenix
No.
has no control over it. She's still learning about her shit. She doesn't mean she can't control it. Everything she's aware of, she can control.
He's right. I you know what? Scarlet Witch is. I
And
wouldn't
she
put her in
did
my group.
break the
But
Infinity Stone too, which props.
yeah, she's pretty savage.
And just like you said, as powerful as Vision is, she put him on his knees.
That's true.
And
And
through the
yeah. I don't know. She was holding back. She was basically exploding the Infinity Stone and holding back Thanos from getting her at the same time.
Thanos, the Titan killer,
Yeah.
goddammit.
So
True.
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
not
I
a
guess
bad
you're right.
pick.
She's
It really
fine.
isn't.
All right. I'll take it. I'll take
You
it.
guys, it's like, all right, fine, okay.
But damn it, I want Strange, Thor, and I want Cap on my side as well, but
Why? All right, so here's my question to you two: why Spider-Man? Because
Oh
I'm
my God.
really trying to figure out how to even justify it.
The
what
dude.
the hell are you talking about?
Oh,
What?
God.
I'm gonna say
What don't you
the
know?
same side. I can see Spider-Man is cool, but he's not strong. Like he's not in the top 8
What?
strong
He's not
Avengers
strong.
Yes, he is.
compared to the other dudes.
Oh man, bless your heart.
Compared to
Yes.
Thor and Hulk, I apologize.
He would get his ass up by Thor, Hulk, Iron Man, Doctor Strange, Scarlet Witch, Captain America, Black Panther. Come on.
Who did you say?
Is there something?
Everybody.
So here's the reason, because I feel like there's something that clearly we're missing. Because from everything I see with Spider-Man, I mean, I could see how he can be elusive, but I don't see how he can be strong. I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
I mean,
I'm sorry. I guess
15-year-olds.
I want to see you go out to a fairy, saw it in half, and hold it together with your bare hands. Whatever.
What?
He's talking about Homecoming, Spider-Man: Homecoming. Also, an entire building fell on top of him, and he lifted it up. So I mean, hey, I'm just saying, the dude is legitimately strong.
Hulk punched through the building.
What?
And plus, in all actuality, in a real fight, minus shitty writing, he has spider sense. You're not gonna hit him.
Yeah, that the spider sense is really like that. That's underrated.
Yeah, but Tony Stark has technology that can beat Spider Sense. So
How?
Okay.
Spider sensing, I don't know, rockets. He's got some crazy stuff.
Sensing rockets, Reggie. What the hell did you just say out of your face?
And he made Spider-Man suit. You probably make it backfire. Just push a button, make it implode on himself.
He didn't always make Spider-Man suit. I mean,
Nikki, did you leave off Doctor Strange off your list?
Yeah.
The blasphemy.
So you wouldn't choose Doctor Strange.
yo,
You would trust Spidey sense
I
over
told
No,
you I
Scarlet-
wanted Doctor Strange, but I would go with Scarlet Witch first.
Scarlet Witch and Doctor Strange are essentially a toss-up. They don't do the same things, but their power levels, I think.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's my last toss-up. It was either him or her. I chose her.
Doctor Strange would run circles around Spider-Man, I'll tell you that.
That's what I was thinking, but at the same time, like, if we're justifying,
In essence, she's
okay,
also
okay.
in essence a sorcerer as well, but her powers like they're unpredictable pretty much.
Well, Hogwarts
Except for her.
Hogwarts was witchcraft and wizardry. Okay, so they both went to the same school. They just were in different
you guys
regions.
forgot what happened in Age of Ultron. She single-handedly basically destroyed the Avengers. All she had to do was just put some messed up stuff in their mind, and that was it.
Don't forget
That's
about
true.
Quicksilver. He was awesome. Am I right?
that's the thing. Like that I feel like is justified. If we're giving credit to the Spidey sense, then I'll give you that. But if we're just talking about just the rest of his skills, then I don't know. But I guess it's justified if we're talking about Spidey sense. I still would choose Doctor Strange personally and Hulk. But I get where you're going. I just needed some justification to why you guys chose Spider-Man. Because you both agreed
Spider-Man
on
is
it. So.
first and foremost my guy. I mean, I'll never have a team without Spider-Man.
He really is awesome. Oh my god.
This dude loves Spider-Man. I love Spider-Man too, but I don't know.
But that cap, though, am I right? Okay. Anyway, all right. We should probably wrap this up.
He's too wholesome.
Too wholesome. I don't like him.
Too wholesome? What the hell?
Listen,
I like a
Which
dirty.
one's looking at?
sometimes I don't want to do the right thing, okay?
I
don't
want to
wanna
be
do
a
the
bad boy. Get out of here.
Oh, my God.
Listen, just like how Justin was like, oh yeah, I would want him. He would sacrifice his life for you. No one. You chose him just like you could just throw him out there and be like, here, take Cap. Cap will lay down his life for me.
He'll defend you with that shield. Whatever's coming your way, that money, he'll stop it.
And
He will
if the
defend
shield
you
don't
with
work,
your honor.
and if the shield won't work, he'll throw his own body in front of it.
That's true. He did in the first
That's
Captain
true.
America, jumped on a grenade.
Jump on top of a
There you
grenade.
I
go.
jump on a grenade for you.
But it's anyone taking War Machine though. Anyway.
Come on.
I'll leave out War Machine. I'll take John Cheadle.
Why do I don't want poor Iron Man? Why would I want poor Iron Man? I can have a rich Iron Man.
Poor Iron Man.
Ugh.
He said poor.
What?
Well, he has no rank in the military, and he hasn't dedicated his life to serving his country. Whatever.
No,
I mean, it's the
I-
highest ranking military
Yes.
officer of all time, but
That's cute.
Wasn't that like the shortest run of Iron Patriot, by the way?
oh yeah, true.
Yeah.
I didn't get that.
It was like
What was
10
the point
minutes
of
of
that
screen
thing?
time, maybe.
Yeah, I don't. That was weird. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what happened to him.
I mean,
Ugh.
it's still him. It's just he did have a time as Iron Patriot, but they gave him like 10 minutes of screen time and called it a wrap. Go
Yeah.
back to
Because everyone
black and
hated
gray.
it. But it's so much cooler. Like, War Machine's a badass machine. Like, that's sick.
It was the same machine. It's just a paint job, and he was basically the first to sign the Accords.
I know. I'm just saying. I thought Iron Patriot was dumb. I'm sure everyone thought it was dumb. They wanted to go back to the real name. You know. Keep
And
it 100.
there's a couple comic series based on Iron Patriot. I'm pretty sure, but
Yeah, but
I don't know about
All right.
man,
Anyway,
I didn't.
okay,
you basically.
we can wrap this up. All right. We've been on here a little while.
Just
About that bedtime now. Anyway, I'm gonna post this back up, and obviously we'll be back on here sometime soon. I'm assuming we should have done a round one recap of the NBA because I would have loved to talk more Brad Stevens. But anyway, thanks for hanging out with us. And if you've listened this long, wow, you're a real trooper. You're a trooper.
Your drums.
Yes, absolutely.
You're a gentleman and a scholar.
Yeah. So
Ray drummer, bro.
Jason, Nikki, Reggie, I appreciate you guys hopping on, and we will be back.
cheers,
Chunkers
commish.
out.